Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday and sometimes Fridays like today. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. All right, let's just get into the stories. I have no updates, but as always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us grow. Leave us an Apple review or leave us a comment on Spotify. Buy us a coffee if you want to support the pod and help keep us going. And let's get into the stories for today. So the first story that I have for you guys is that BranFlakezz has opened up about how he grew his platform to become a full-time influencer. BranFlakezz stays transparent about his influencing journey, okay? So BranFlakezz is a big TikToker. He has, how many followers does he have now? 1.3 million followers. He went viral a few months ago when he was talking about his income breakdown as an influencer, and he was really transparent about like how much he made last year and the percentages that like went to his team, that went to his management. So he has posted a new video that a lot of people are also talking about, where he explains how he was able to make a transition from working 9 to 5 to being a full-time influencer. And he did this, he says, by prioritizing documenting his life over living his life for a period of time, obviously.
It sounds sad, but really the reason I was able to become a full-time influencer was I prioritized sharing my life over prioritizing living my life. What I mean by that is when I worked 9 to 5, I was just an average adult. I got up in the morning, got a coffee, went to work, sometimes would work out, make dinner, watch TV, go to bed. Weekends would hang out with my friends. My life at first did not change. That all stayed the same, but what I would do every morning was, okay, what parts of today am I now going to share? Oh, I'm going to a new restaurant this week with my best friends. I should share what I ordered. Going to the grocery store this week? Oh, let me do a haul of all the groceries I bought and then do a video of what I cooked for dinner. I'm going on a date this week. Let me talk about my current dating life. So I was still living my life, but I was putting emphasis on how was I going to share that online.
I really like that he's opening up about this, especially in this industry. I like that he's talking about how he worked hard to get to where he is. I think there's such a stigma around influencing, especially TikTok in particular. On the inside, like as in people who have kind of made it, I feel like there's a lot of pressure for them to almost portray this image that like it just happened to them. Because for a lot of the early TikTokers, it did. There is definitely a stigma around the career of being an influencer and the desire to be an influencer. And I think that stigma is a lot less when it just appears that somebody was interesting enough that they built a following organically, or their personality was good enough that everybody wanted to follow them or whatever. So I really like how Bran is so honest about how hard he's worked for this and how much he wanted it. That is something I resonate with a lot. I am constantly out here talking on my TikTok about how badly I want this business and this career to work. You know, like I have no shame in the game. Like I am trying so fucking hard to make this work and it is so challenging. And every day I'm still like, I have no idea if this is going to take off or if this is actually going to work. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that. And I think in certain industries, certain circles, and certain countries like Australia, there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome here, you know, where people feel it's a little bit embarrassing to be seen trying. But I don't care, okay? I'm a striver. I'm a trier. And I like that Bran is talking very openly because to get to the level, like Bran has 1.3 million followers, okay? That's a lot of followers. But aside from his follower count, he is incredibly relevant in the influencer space right now. And it's that relevancy that you almost can't put a price on because there are a lot of people on TikTok who have 1.3 million followers, okay? But they are not getting invited on every single brand trip. They are not making just shy of $1 million a year. They are not in these circles and getting these opportunities. And so I like that he is showing like, yes, I have built something for myself. And of course, there's always an element of luck in anyone's success. But like, I have worked so fucking hard for this. This was a strategy. This was a plan. I wanted to be an influencer. Here's how I've done it. Bran isn't the only one who's been opening up like this lately, though. Creator Kelsey Soles has also been sharing very openly lately, which has also been a big topic of conversation on TikTok, about how she intentionally built her TikTok career by posting up to 20 times a day while she was working her 9 to 5. I actually see this trend of TikTokers speaking openly about how they worked for this and they tried for this and they sought out like influencer fame. I see that as similar to what we're seeing with A-list celebrities who are admitting to getting their work done. You know, it's like for an A-list celebrity, the embarrassing thing, the stigma is around the fact that they are getting more work done than we probably know or think. And I think, of course, there's a similar stigma. It's not the same, but there is like a similar level of stigma around influencers who didn't just like happen to fall into it, you know, who actually like tried to become famous influencers. We're in an era of transparency, and I know we've talked about this before, but I believe a lot of it comes down to the fact that everyone is so burnt out right now. The world is absolutely fucked. And so there's never been more disdain for people who are privileged, who have money and fame, like an influencer, like a celebrity. And so to bring them back down to earth, they have to start being a bit transparent about things. Otherwise, we're all going to turn on them even more. We're already turning on them, but like even more. So I do think this is maybe not like an intentional strategy from them. I think a lot of it is probably subconscious. It's just like in general, they're probably reading the room a little bit. There's probably a bit of a temperature gauge, and it's influencing how they interact with the public. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is that Yahoo is slowly transitioning from a publisher to a creator platform. In March 2024, Yahoo launched its creator program, which is a, quote, program giving writers an all-in-one platform to publish, monetize, connect, and grow their businesses by sharing stories to the Yahoo News network of more than 185 million monthly US visitors. In addition to elevating vetted and established creators, the stories they share will allow Yahoo News to expand its content categories presented in a fresh format. So that is from Yahoo's announcement on this transition. Okay, so Yahoo Creators is essentially like a distribution channel for creators to reach Yahoo's giant audience, while also giving Yahoo some relevancy in the creator economy. According to DigiDay, quote, the program allows creators to publish original content directed to Yahoo site and access tools like ad monetization with a 50-50 revenue split. Each creator has a dedicated moderator from Yahoo's creator support team that gives feedback and vets content in real time after it's published. So on the Yahoo homepage, since it launched, you'll see there's a creator vertical now alongside kind of like all their regular news. It's actually like a very cool idea. The program has been really successful. Just last month, the company reported that Yahoo Creators had its highest revenue month since launch. And now kind of the update on this is they're offering more editorial control to creators. So they have a full dashboard similar to what you would see on like the back end of YouTube. Creators can upload directly to the platform without kind of the red tape of traditional publishing. There's commission opportunities based on what they're publishing, if there's affiliate links and stuff. So it's really becoming like this full-fledged platform. There's only, I believe, 135 creators right now in the program, which is why they can have like a dedicated person working alongside them. But there are apparently hundreds of creators on the wait list. I wanted to talk about this just because it's very interesting. I think this whole concept, I mean, it literally marries like all of my interests when it comes to my work experience, right? Like publishing, media, trying to figure out how to make new media work, the creator economy, kind of combining all those things. I think this is a really interesting idea. Obviously, Yahoo is like a news aggregator, and their GM has said that they want to remain an aggregator, like a publisher. They're not trying to be like a content distributor, but you know, it sounds like they are honestly starting to give some social platforms, or they could be giving some social platforms a run for their money, especially ones like Substack. You know, there's a big boom right now with newsletters, but now that it's no longer novel, it's so hard to grow and it's really hard to monetize if you don't have a big following. So this is a really cool initiative, I guess. It's not totally unique. There's other publishers that have creator programs as well, but I just thought the insights into Yahoo and like what they're doing and how it's working for them, I don't know. It's interesting, at least to me, as the owner of a media company that exclusively talks about internet culture and the creator economy. All right, the last story that I have for you guys. So we have been getting requests to cover Love Island, and I do feel like Love Island is a blind spot for me in pop culture. I'm sure if I started watching it, I would be like obsessed with it, okay? But I have not watched it, so it's very much a blind spot for me. However, Love Island star Cierra Ortega has apologized now for using a racial slur in a resurfaced social media video and in other posts, and that has been all over my feed. This whole situation around Cierra has been all over my feed, so I figured I would would give you guys a little bit of insight into this. Cierra Ortega is a Love Island contestant, and while she's been away filming the show, fans found a few instances of posts on social media in which she used an anti-Asian slur. So there's one in 2015 in her Instagram caption, and then there's a few screenshots that are circulating. It's obviously hard to verify these, but it seems she posted something with that same slur on her stories in February 2023, and then a follower replied to her saying, "Girl, that's a derogatory term for Asians." And then Cierra allegedly wrote back, "I just got educated on the topic, immediately deleting. I never knew the history of that word, but will for sure never use it again. Thanks for letting me know." But then in 2024, she posted another story allegedly of her getting Botox done, in which she used the word to describe why she wants to get Botox around her eyes. And then there's another screenshot circulating from that same year from the DMs. Again, hard to verify this, where she allegedly used it and somebody replied saying, "This is derogatory." And she allegedly replied saying, "Oh man, thankfully that's not how I used it." So all of this has been blowing up literally all week while Cierra was away on Love Island without her phone. 2 days ago, her parents made a statement about the backlash that their daughter has been getting. They wrote, quote, "As Cierra's parents, this has been one of the most painful weeks of our lives. We've seen the posts, the headlines, the hurt, and the hate. And while Cierra hasn't seen any of it yet, we have. And so have the people who love her. We're not here to justify or ignore what's surfaced. We understand why people are upset, and we know accountability matters. But what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family, her friends, even her supporters, it's heartbreaking. And no one deserves that kind of hate, no matter what mistakes they've made." Around the same time, it was announced that Cierra was leaving the villa for, quote, "personal reasons." And now, 48 hours after she got back to the US, she has taken to social media to address the whole situation in a video and an Instagram story. And I do want to note that in the video, I'm going to play a clip of it, but I do want to note that in the video, she does address the screenshots that are circulating, but she seems to imply that they're not totally accurate. She doesn't say that, but she doesn't fully admit to them. So that's why I'm saying it's like hard to verify if some of the screenshots that are circulating are accurate or not. Like, people can so easily fake screenshots, so I don't know.
I am not the victim in this situation. While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse, because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't. And I just need you to know that I am so sorry. But this is not an apology video. This is an accountability video. And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps, and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, like, I don't know, I'm still gonna use it. But that was not the case. Like, the truth is that in that moment, the lesson was learned. What's been extremely, extremely difficult is the way people are approaching my family and my loved ones. You know, they have had ICE called on them. My family doesn't feel safe in their own home. I'm receiving death threats. Like, there's no need to fight hate with hate.
Obviously, I cannot accept this apology. Any opinion I have on this apology is literally a moot point because it's not for me. But we need to stop weaponizing ICE against people. This is sick, okay? I talked about it yesterday or the day before in the episode about Adam McIntyre, but calling ICE on somebody in this current climate is so scary and disgusting, and I feel like it is an act of violence in and of itself. But yes, Cierra has addressed everything, and I have seen quite a few people say that the Love Island producers, whoever's in charge of vetting and background checks, needs to do a better job, because this is the second in the same season, the second contestant to go home or kind of have early removal? Yeah, I guess removed early. I don't know if removal is the right word. Yeah, like due to controversial comments that have circulated online. Anyways, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Please buy us a coffee if you feel so inclined to support us. I love you guys. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday. Bye.